There was a dojo that was in the basement of the NAPA Auto Parts. And
Stop. Let me make sure that people got this right. You had a
Yeah.
dojo from a sensei in the basement of an auto
Yeah.
parts store.
I'm funnier than all of you. I have a plaque to prove it.
it's a lamp with a paper towel over it.
Some blue diamond, lightly salted almond.
Oh, 1, 2.
It's the same. So grab something to eat. Let's do this. All right, today we got my man Andy Lay on the line. Andy, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, Paco?
Dude, what are you eating for lunch?
Man, really fancy today. Going with the ramen noodles.
Oh, nice. How do you say the name of those noodles?
Well, I'm from Kentucky, so it's ramen. But
noodles.
I believe my tooth is coming out, so I gotta say ramen. But
Ramen.
you know, classic chicken.
The brand name, Marchuin?
Maruchan?
I don't know. Delicious. I think it translates to delicious. So I don't feel terrible with the PB&J today then.
Hey, no.
Now, Andy, you are an interesting dude. And I'm
Thanks,
so happy
man.
that you took a couple of minutes to hang out with us here. I'm going to change the format of this thing a number of different times. Sometimes you're going to be on top and like stacked vertically. Sometimes I'm just going to keep it interesting because, you know, I'm on the line with a dude who I think is one of the most brilliant tech dudes going right now. So
Thanks,
I know
man.
that about you. Let the people know who you are and what you do.
I'm Andy. And my day job is that I work at Crossroads. I am what's called an experience coach. So I actually help 4 of our sites with their entire weekend experience from the technical perspective. Before that, I helped all of our video teams, our weekend video teams. Sometimes I do shoots with Kurds Film, and I rig up a bunch of lights and some sketchy rigging and stuff, which is really fun, and have fun with those guys. I'll be honest, I will never claim to know what I'm doing, but I am so dang stubborn to figure out how to fix something. And my confidence, I always tell my wife this, my confidence is up here, my competence is like right here. And somehow they meet in the middle. And that, like, confidence is key. If you know you can fix it, you'll maybe fix it, or you'll find a funny workaround for it. But anyway, that's kind of how I function. So
Awesome.
I just like fixing stuff.
Dude, that whole idea of like competence and confidence meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm using that in a conversation for like the next week.
Yeah, man.
What do you think that they meet? Like, does that move? Like on some things you're like, I'm super confident, but like not very competent. So like I'm actually like down here somewhere. And then like and vice versa. How do you deal with it when you're super competent about something, but not confident? And how do you deal with it when you're like, I could do this, but like singing, I'm super confident in my singing abilities. I'm not very competent. How do I process that?
I think I have a knack for finding situations, or at least clinging to situations, where often without even thinking about it, I'll look around, and if no one else wants to tackle the thing, I'll be like, I'll jump in and do it because no one's watching me. Like those are the big things, is like, I just want to fix this thing because I want to. And I have a, like, one of the things that I had a mentor. I'd say he's still very much my mentor, but he told me once that the best thing that you can become professional in is being a good learner.
Ooh.
And that stuck with me because, and I try to share that with anybody that's come under my leadership. I just try to tell them, like, never stop learning. Like North Face says, never stop exploring. Yeah, sure, great, but be a good learner. Because there's a lot of explorers that are jerks.
What's your thing? Like, what's your driving thing that, like, you say, I stand for this. Me and my family, we stand for this.
That's a great question.
I'm dropping bombs.
I don't know that we've put it into words, but my wife and I both, it's deep within us, and I think we're still exploring it. But like growing up, my confidence was nil. Like I was the most sheepish, didn't want to bug anybody, in the background person ever. Until I had a extremely profound and real experience with Jesus when I was 14, where I used to have like crazy anxiety attacks. Like I every day I would have gnarly anxiety attacks that I should have been diagnosed, but it didn't happen. I came into a relationship with Jesus, and I trusted that he was there, and I prayed, like, God, if you're real, I need you to show up. And that night he healed me of my anxiety, and I haven't had an anxiety attack in about 12 years.
Really? Wow.
And like, that was the beginning of me developing who I was and learning who I was and my identity, which gave me an insane amount of confidence. And then I started like trying things and experiencing life because I had this newfound, like, I'm a child of God, and God is well pleased with me. And it gave me the freedom to explore and be confident. So for me and my wife, we want others to experience that. We want people to know their real identity because it's freedom. My disposition has not come easily, I will say that. Like, totally honest, when I got hired at Crossroads, my technical ability was here, but my confidence was here.
Nice.
And it was, I would say I've been at Crossroads for 6 years. And for 3 years, there was a lot of, I broke everything that I touched. And like, I've seen everything. So my job was primarily heavy on the weekends. And I have literally seen every possible nightmare a technician could imagine. And I would be so worried that if I screwed up, that God wouldn't be honored and that these people wouldn't come back to Crossroads. You know, all the crazy things that you might think of. If you screw up, something would happen. But that didn't happen. I screwed up. I learned from it. And God gave me more confidence and taught me more about who I am and what my work is truly worth. And that just, it is a snowball. Like, so when I was losing sleep, I wasn't thankful for the hardship, but now that I'm out of it, I'm like, holy crap, I have so much confidence now because I've seen the worst. I've faced my fears. I've experienced hardship, and God was faithful, and I didn't die. And you know, things are good. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I would say Lexi and I want to fight for our friends and our family to know their identity because it's freedom.
All right. So one of the things that people might not know about you is you've got some of the best stories. We're eating lunch. You know, you got your ramen. I got my PB&J. Tell me a story about the grossest thing you've ever eaten. And while you're doing that, I'm going to change it because you are a tech guy. I'm going to change our view to go vertical because I want to be a tech guy too, deep inside.
Why not? The grossest thing I've ever eaten. Oh, the grossest thing I've ever eaten is I did it with full knowledge. Like, in my sober mind, I intentionally ate this thing. So I used to be a Young Life leader. And one of the skits, I don't even remember what the premise of it was, doesn't matter. But you would get a blender and you would get a Happy Meal from McDonald's and you would blend up the Happy Meal. And I'm thinking to myself, one, I can count on one hand how many times I've ever gotten sick, like, as an adult. A blended up Happy Meal is, the rules are off.
Really?
Like, it breaks the rules, dude. It is disgusting. Like, it was, I smelled it as I was drinking it, and I'm in front of, I don't know, 70 kids. And I'm like, I'm the leader. I got to muscle this thing through.
Finish this, dude. Yeah.
And I made it halfway through it, dude. And it took every fiber of my being not to just blow my groceries. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, you know, you pour the Coke in, and we even had a milkshake in there, and it was like a cheeseburger and fries. And I'm thinking, man, it all combines in your mouth anyway. Like, what's the difference? No, it was like drinking straight throw up. It was disgusting, dude. It was so bad.
Pretty disgusting.
It was rough.
Speaking of McDonald's and you know, food contests, I entered a cheeseburger eating contest one time because I had skipped lunch and I was just hungry. And so I'm like one of 5 people, and they had like 100 cheeseburgers, right? And they gave us 7 minutes to eat as many as you could. The winner ate like 13 or something crazy like that. I ate 3.
13.
Yeah. I had a Coke and everything. I was sat down and I was just chilling, eating. And the host was like, oh, he might be not feeling well. Like, no, I just skipped lunch and this is a free lunch. So I'm just going to kind of crush these. Probably ruin the contest, but free lunch is a free lunch.
Oh my.
Now,
Yep.
people don't know this about you either. You have a martial arts background, don't you?
You could say that. You could
Now, while
say
you
that.
tell this story, I'm going to change this back to a horizontal view because
Okay,
no,
great.
I'm trying to be a tech guy.
All right,
Tell the
I'm going
story
to tell
of
the
your martial arts background.
I'm going to tell the best story about my martial arts background. When I say martial arts, I'm talking hillbilly taekwondo. So we had a taekwondo, I guess you would call it a dojo. I was so into it.
Whoa.
So there was a dojo that was in the basement of the NAPA Auto Parts. And
Stop. Let me make sure that people got this right. You had a
Yeah.
dojo from a sensei in the basement of an auto
Yeah.
parts store.
yeah, and this dude, the sensei, he had the frosted tips split down the middle haircut with the side shave. I have never seen him in normal clothes. He was always wearing his, I don't think you call it a gi. I think that's jujitsu, but like whatever the thing, the uniform.
Outfit. He had the outfit on. Yeah.
And then like the Nike slides, and I kid you not, he drove a Trans Am with the Phoenix on the hood.
He was the bad guy from Karate Kid 1, is what you're saying.
Dude, yes. And man, if I could tell you how obsessed I was with Karate Kid during this period of my life, I can't even begin. So anyway, my mom signs me up for Taekwondo, and I wish there was video of me as a kid doing this because it would be amazing. I was a large child. So I have been above 6 feet since I was in 8th grade. So like, I was a big kid. So I always I couldn't spar the kids my age because I was twice as big as them and I crushed them. So I had to spar the high school kids at like 7 or 8 years old. And I just get my butt whipped because I was too scared to hit anybody. But anyway, I am there for a month or two or whatever, and it's time to get my white belt. It's your first belt. So I go out on Saturdays, they do belt testing. And it's a big room, another dojo that's made out of a pole barn in rural Kentucky.
Oh, so you went to like a neighborhood dojo, like a neighboring one. Oh,
It was actually the sensei's dad's dojo. So we were like, whoa.
Motherland, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and there's like, I don't know, 100 people crammed in this dojo. And I'm up there by myself doing my testing or whatever the heck I was doing. And I did it. And like my teacher was like super pumped or whatever, and he came up, and it's just me on the mat and the teacher, and he puts the white belt around. It's this big ceremonious thing, and he goes and he pulls the belt, and I cut the biggest fart you have ever heard. It was long, like awkwardly long. It was like, and my mom's in the corner like, oh my god. And it was great, but I was like, didn't faze me at all. I was like, yeah, like Ric Flair, just like all about it, dude.
Oh my goodness. I need to see footage of this or a reenactment at some point in my life.
Oh my gosh.
That
Yeah,
feels
me
like
and Evan Maines. Yeah.
How proud were you to get your white belt though?
I was pumped, like genuinely pumped.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, I don't think I deserved the white belt, but I think it was a pity white belt.
You're not sure even what martial art you learned because they're
Right.
crossing all the metaphors and nomenclature
Right.
out. How funny.
Right.
We accomplish things as a kid. You're like, this is the biggest day of my life, you know?
Yeah.
The day that you learn a new thing, the day that you get recognition and all that stuff. As a dude, right? Like, how important is recognition for guys?
I think it's huge. I think some guys shy away from it because of fear of it getting to their head. I do that. I would say it's more likely that I shuck responsibility or praise because I have this stupid thing in the back of my head that's like, which I believe is a lie, is like that I don't deserve it, or it'll get, it'll make my head big and I'll be, whatever. Ultimately, that just prevents me from receiving the thing that I actually really want, which is, I guess, encouragement or affirmation. That's the word I'm looking for. So affirmation is a big deal to dudes. And I think personally, that's my favorite thing about Man Camp. I'm wearing the hat, but I didn't plan to talk about this. But like my favorite thing about Man Camp is that dudes get real and they say true things to each other. So it's like a big tank filler when I go to Man Camp because I feel like I've got guys around me that some know me, some don't, and they see me for who I am and they call it out. And I get to do that to other guys. And I probably get more fill up from doing it, just encouraging other dudes. So it's huge. It's huge. And back to my identity thing, like my other mentor used to say, like, if you treat somebody like gold, they're going to act like gold. If you treat somebody like crap, they're going to act like crap. And how stupid and simple is that?
Dude, tweet that, man. Tweet that.
Maybe I should get a tweeter.
Yeah, tweeter.
So.
Man, you know what's so interesting about affirmation and like acknowledgement, especially in the world we live in. We live in that social media world where you get affirmed literally by anything that you put up there. So if you get 10 likes or you get 10,000 likes, that's a difference in affirmation. And even in videos, right? You get this many views or this many views. It affirms whether or not your thing was good or you're worthy of making another one or whatever. And for guys trying to maneuver in that world where for a lot of dudes, we're scared of receiving it because we're worried that what might happen if it gets to our head. But then also we're worried that it might not be what we think about ourselves. It might not be like what we are hoping to be. It might change some things that deep in our core about who we want to be. And so overcoming the fear of like receiving affirmation is a huge thing. And the best way to do that, you said it, is to affirm people. So like if I'm worried, like, am I being enough? Am I enough as a dude? Am I contributing to the world and my family? The best way for me to really get past all of those lies is for me to call that out in other people. When I see someone else being kind or being a leader or being a whatever, and calling that out of people. And then you start to see, wait, the things that I appreciate in that person, I'm actually doing them now in my own life.
Yep.
Andy, I appreciate you taking some time to hang out with us on lunch break. You're a good dude, man. It's great to see you. It's great to spend some time with you. Enjoy your ramen noodles.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, man. I'm going to hang up. See you next time.